Imagine now for a moment the immense power you carry within your own mind. This power is unseen, often ignored, but it is the singular force that shapes your destiny. You are not the victim of circumstance, no, you are the master architect of your future. Yet, so many walk through life shackled by chains forged from their own uncontrolled emotions, impulsive reactions, and mental chaos. This is the hidden enemy that steals success before it is ever born. Listen well. If you allow your emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. You become a slave to the tumult of your feelings, tossed about by the winds of external events. But if you command your thoughts, if you seize control of your inner world, you command your future. This is not an abstract idea. It is a law, the law of mental mastery. Why then do so few rise to this calling? Why do the majority surrender their minds to the loudest voices, the most painful memories, or the most enticing distractions? Because they have never been taught the secret of emotional detachment. Because they have mistaken emotional reactivity for human nature. Because they have not yet awakened to the profound truth that your success depends on your ability to stand apart from your emotions, to observe them without surrender, and to shape your inner climate with deliberate intention. Begin with this. Definiteness of purpose is the master key that unlocks every door to achievement. Without a clear, burning purpose, your mind is a rudderless ship on a stormy sea. Your emotions will sweep you away like waves crashing against the rocks. Your thoughts will scatter like leaves in the wind. But a definite purpose grounds you. It commands your mental energies. It calls forth the discipline required to master yourself. You must decide today, with absolute clarity, what you intend to accomplish. Not someday, not when the stars align, but now. The moment you set a definite purpose, you gain power. You create a fixed point in your mental universe, an immovable star to navigate by. But mere purpose is not enough. You must develop self-discipline, the ability to control your impulses and govern your reactions. Self-discipline is the bridge between your goals and their realization. It is the fortress wall guarding your mind from the siege of negativity, doubt, and impulsiveness. Without it, you are like a prisoner who unlocks his own cell door and wanders aimlessly into the darkness. This discipline is forged through repeated acts of conscious control. When your emotions flare in anger or fear, you do not react immediately. You pause. You choose your response. This simple act of withholding immediate reaction is the beginning of mastery. It trains the mind to obey your will, not the storm of sensations. Remember the law. Reaction is the enemy of progress. Response is the ally of the successful man. A reaction is automatic, emotional, and often destructive. A response is measured, thoughtful, and constructive. Here is a principle often overlooked: mental neutrality. To become unstoppable, you must learn to stand emotionally neutral in the face of adversity, criticism, and temptation. This does not mean coldness or apathy. It means equanimity, a calm, unshaken center where the storm may rage outside, but your mind remains steady. The greatest achievers are not those who are unaffected by their circumstances. They are those who refuse to be controlled by them. They absorb the facts, learn the lessons, and advance without allowing their feelings to derail them. Emotional detachment, then, is not withdrawal from life. It is the discipline to observe life with clarity and calmness. Like a master chess player, you do not react impulsively to every move. You anticipate, you strategize, you position yourself for victory. To command your inner world, you must think accurately. Accurate thinking means separating facts from fiction, cause from effect, and truth from assumption. It demands intellectual honesty and courage. Your emotions will lie to you. They will persuade you to believe in fears, excuses, and limitations. Your mind is a battlefield where ideas clash. If you accept falsehoods, you build your prison walls higher. If you seek truth relentlessly, you break free. Accurate thinking is the cutting edge of mental discipline. It is the tool that carves your path through the wilderness of confusion. Once you have set your definite purpose, practiced self-discipline, cultivated mental neutrality, and embraced accurate thinking, you must engage the power of auto-suggestion. This is the practice of deliberately feeding your subconscious mind with positive, focused affirmations of your purpose and your ability to achieve it. Your subconscious mind does not discriminate between truth and falsehood. It accepts what you impress upon it. Therefore, if you continuously suggest to yourself that you are weak, unlucky, or incapable, you program failure. But if you insist with unwavering conviction that you are powerful, capable, and destined for success, your subconscious mind will marshal your energies to make it so. This is the invisible force behind all great accomplishments. It is the secret voice within you that, when commanded rightly, becomes the master architect of your destiny. Above all, understand this: mastery over emotion is the highest achievement of mental discipline. It is the crown that sits upon the head of the man who has learned to rule himself. Emotions, left unchecked, are like wild horses running through your mind, trampling your dreams and tearing down your resolve. But the man who masters emotion harnesses those horses, directs their power, and uses their energy to propel him forward. You do not become cold or indifferent. Rather, you become serene, powerful, and invincible. Remember always that thought precedes action. Your outer world is the reflection of your inner mental environment. If your thoughts are chaotic, confused, and emotionally charged, your actions will be the same. But if your thoughts are calm, clear, and disciplined, your actions will reflect that mastery. This principle means that before you conquer the world, you must conquer your mind. Before you achieve external success, you must achieve inner control. You must understand deeply that you have the power to choose your response. No external event can force you to feel or act in any way. Your mind is sovereign. Every time you respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively, you build your power. Each choice of response is a victory in the war for your mind. With each victory, you gain momentum. With each defeat, you lose ground. Mental mastery is not passive. It requires initiative. You must take personal responsibility for your thoughts and emotions. You cannot blame circumstances, people, or luck for your mental state. You are the captain of your ship, the master of your fate. This realization is the ignition switch that sets the engine of success in motion. Finally, recognize that emotional detachment is not a barrier, but a gateway. It frees you from the chains of dependency on approval, fear, and distraction. It gives you peace of mind, clarity of purpose, and unwavering effectiveness. The man who is emotionally detached is free to act with power, without hesitation or doubt. He moves like a force of nature, unstoppable and relentless. You have within you the power to command your mind, master your emotions, and create a life of greatness. This journey begins the moment you decide to rise above reactivity, to choose discipline over impulse, and to own your inner world. Success is not an accident. It is the natural consequence of mental mastery. Awaken now and take hold of the throne of your mind. Rule it with wisdom, strength, and unyielding determination. Your future awaits. You must understand this deeply. The mind is your greatest asset and your fiercest battleground. It is the forge where all fortunes are crafted and all failures conceived. To neglect its mastery is to abdicate your birthright of success. But to command it, to govern your emotions, is to claim dominion over destiny itself. Let us delve further into the nature of emotional detachment, not as a sterile void, but as a vibrant field of strength where true power grows. Emotional detachment is the deliberate act of observing your feelings without surrender. It is the discipline to say, "I see you, emotion, but you shall not dictate my path." Like the captain who stands steady in the eye of the hurricane, you must cultivate an unshakable calm that neither the fiercest storm nor the sweetest temptation can disturb. Consider this: emotions are energy in motion. They surge through your body like waves, demanding release and expression. But not every wave requires a leap into the sea. Sometimes the wisest act is to watch the wave break, learn its rhythm, and conserve your strength for the currents that serve your purpose. Emotional detachment does not mean suppression. It is not the prison of the heart, but the throne of the mind. When you detach, you do not bury your feelings, you harness them. You direct their energy toward your definite purpose. You transform fear into caution, anger into motivation, doubt into inquiry. This alchemy of the mind is the secret of the great achievers. The man who succumbs to his emotions is like a rudderless ship tossed by every gust of wind. The man who masters his emotions is a sovereign ruler, steering his vessel with unwavering resolve toward the harbor of success. This mastery begins with awareness. The moment you recognize an emotional surge, pause. Ask yourself, is this feeling helping me advance toward my purpose, or is it leading me astray? This simple question, when practiced relentlessly, builds the fortress of your inner peace. Now, let us examine the principle of definiteness of purpose with renewed vigor. Purpose is not a vague wish or a fleeting desire. It is a burning obsession, a clear vision so vivid that it commands your every thought and action. Without it, you drift in a sea of confusion, vulnerable to the whims of circumstance and the storms of emotion. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But conception and belief demand clarity. You must be specific. Define your goal in exact terms. How much money will you earn? What will you do with it? How will it change your life and those around you?" Once you have crystallized your purpose, engrave it into your subconscious mind through auto-suggestion. Repeat it daily, morning and night, until it becomes your constant companion. This practice aligns your subconscious with your conscious will, creating a magnetic force that attracts the resources, people, and opportunities you require. But beware, your mind is a garden. If you plant weeds of doubt and fear, you will reap failure. If you plant seeds of faith and discipline, you will harvest success. Let us speak now of self-discipline, the guardian at the gates of your mind. Discipline is not punishment. It is the exercise of freedom. When you discipline your thoughts and emotions, you liberate yourself from the tyranny of impulsiveness and weakness. Every act of self-control, every moment you resist the urge to react in anger or despair strengthens your mental muscles. Like lifting weights, discipline builds your capacity for endurance and power. Recall this truth. You become what you repeatedly do. Therefore, mastery is a habit. Cultivate it relentlessly. When anxiety threatens to overwhelm you, do not flee or fight impulsively. Instead, practice the law of mental neutrality. This law teaches you to stand detached yet attentive, to witness your fears without feeding them, to recognize your anger without surrendering to it. This calm center is the birthplace of effective action. It grants you the clarity to analyze problems without distortion, to seize opportunities without hesitation. Let me illustrate with a metaphor. Picture the mind as a still pond. When calm, it reflects the heavens with perfect clarity. When disturbed by wind or thrown stones, the reflection shatters into confusion. Your emotions are the wind and stones. Your discipline is the art of stillness. Now, let us explore the difference between reaction and response, a distinction so subtle, yet so vital, that it divides the successful from the doomed. A reaction is immediate, unthinking, governed by emotion. It is the flash of anger at criticism, the panic in the face of adversity, the rash decision that undermines progress. Reaction is a slave to circumstance. A response is deliberate, reasoned, and controlled. It acknowledges the stimulus, weighs the consequences, and chooses the course aligned with purpose. Response is the mark of mastery. Each time you replace reaction with response, you fortify your sovereignty over the self. To wield this power, cultivate accurate thinking. This principle demands that you seek the facts, separate truth from fiction, and reject hearsay and assumption. It requires courage to confront uncomfortable realities and humility to admit ignorance. The mind that thinks accurately is a sword that slices through illusion, revealing the path forward. Without accurate thinking, your emotional detachment is weak, your decisions flawed, and your success fragile. Remember this, the greatest victories are won not on battlefields, but within the chambers of the mind. Emotional detachment frees you from external validation, from the need for approval that chains so many. When you detach, you become impervious to praise and criticism alike. Your self-worth stems from within, not from the fickle judgments of others. This inner security fuels confidence and clarity, enabling you to take bold steps where others hesitate. But mastery demands personal initiative. It is not enough to know these truths intellectually. You must act. Mental discipline grows only through exercise. Begin now to observe your emotions, to command your thoughts, to repeat your definite purpose with faith. Make no mistake, success is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice, the choice to master your inner world. In closing this portion of your awakening, hear this call. Let no man or circumstance shake your resolve. Let no fear or doubt cloud your vision. Rise above the chaos of emotional reactivity and step into the power of mental sovereignty. Your mind is your kingdom. Rule it with discipline. Build it with accurate thought. Feed it with purposeful autosuggestion. Shield it with emotional detachment. In so doing, you unlock the doors to riches, to peace, and to a life of unstoppable achievement. Now, let us venture further into the profound architecture of mental mastery, where the bricks are not mere thoughts, but the unwavering habits of the mind. Understand that your mind, like fertile soil, will grow whatever you plant. If you sow seeds of fear, worry, and anger, you will reap frustration, failure, and defeat. But if you sow seeds of calm, clarity, and unwavering purpose, you will harvest triumph beyond measure. The first cornerstone in this edifice is the cultivation of calmness. To the untrained mind, calmness may seem passive, a surrender to inertia. But in truth, calmness is a powerful weapon, a furnace of quiet strength that tempers the soul like steel forged in fire. When you cultivate calmness, you create space between stimulus and reaction, allowing reason and purpose to govern your response. Consider the great leaders, inventors, and entrepreneurs throughout history. Their calmness in the face of chaos did not signify weakness, but supreme strength. When their rivals rushed blindly, they moved with precision and strategy. Calmness allows you to hear the whisper of opportunity amid the roar of confusion. To cultivate this calmness, practice the discipline of mental stillness. Twice daily, retreat inward, quiet the mind. Observe your thoughts as a detached witness, without judgment or engagement. In this silence, you build the muscle of emotional detachment. From this place of calm, your mind becomes a beacon of clarity. You learn to discern which emotions serve your purpose and which enslave you. You begin to master the subtle art of emotional alchemy, transforming impulses into purposeful action. The second cornerstone is the power of definiteness of purpose, which we have touched upon but now must deepen. This principle is not merely setting a goal, it is the birth of obsession. It is the fire in your belly, the unrelenting vision that consumes all lesser distractions. Definiteness of purpose commands the mind to rally its forces. It focuses your energy like sunlight through a magnifying glass, capable of burning obstacles to ash. Without it, discipline falters. Without it, calmness becomes aimless. Therefore, make your purpose vivid, specific, and all-consuming. Write it down. Repeat it aloud. Inscribe it upon the walls of your mind until it echoes with every breath you take. Third, we confront the principle of autosuggestion. The mind is a fertile field, and autosuggestion is the seed sower. It is not a magical charm, but a disciplined practice, an intentional feeding of your subconscious with the truths of your purpose, your strength, and your unbreakable resolve. Repeat daily affirmations that reinforce your mental sovereignty. Tell yourself, I am calm under pressure. I am master of my emotions. I am destined to succeed. With repetition, these truths permeate your subconscious, aligning your deepest self with your conscious will. Fourth, and perhaps the most challenging, is the mastery over emotion. Emotions are the tempest within the soul. They are neither good nor evil, but they are powerful. The man who masters his emotions does not deny their existence, but controls their direction. Understand this. Every emotion carries energy. When uncontrolled, this energy becomes destructive. Anger destroys, fear paralyzes, jealousy consumes. When controlled, this energy is a mighty force, driving persistence, courage, and innovation. This mastery begins with awareness. When anger rises, say to yourself, this is anger. I will not serve it. I will channel this energy into decisive action. When fear whispers, reply, this is fear. I will not let it bind me. I will use it to sharpen my vigilance. Every such conscious act builds your power. It strengthens your ability to remain emotionally detached, balanced, and effective. Fifth, let us now address accurate thinking, the sharp sword of the mind that cuts through delusion and doubt. Your thoughts shape your reality. When you think inaccurately, you build castles on sand. When you think with precision, you lay foundations of granite. Accurate thinking demands ruthless honesty. It requires you to examine your beliefs, challenge assumptions, and seek facts relentlessly. It separates cause from effect, enabling you to act with wisdom. In your pursuit of mental mastery, reject hearsay, emotion-driven judgments, and the opinions of the crowd. Instead, cultivate a mind that questions, analyzes, and verifies. This discipline guards you against the snares of fear and illusion. Sixth, remember the distinction between reaction and response, a subtle but critical difference. The reaction is immediate, driven by emotion and habit. It is the trigger pulled before the mind awakens. The response is measured, deliberate, and aligned with your definite purpose. Every time you replace reaction with response, you deepen your mental discipline and expand your power. This shift transforms you from a victim of circumstance into the master of your fate. Seventh, we arrive at the law of mental neutrality, the sacred space within where the storms of emotion can pass without sinking your ship. Mental neutrality does not imply detachment from life's experiences, but detachment from the necessity to be disturbed by them. The man who cultivates mental neutrality can face insult without anger, failure without despair, and temptation without surrender. He observes life with a calm eye and acts with unshakable resolve. In this state, you discover the freedom to choose your path regardless of external chaos. Eighth, the critical principle of personal initiative demands your attention. Mental mastery is not a passive state. It requires vigorous, ongoing effort. You must take responsibility for your mental environment. You must become the vigilant guardian, the relentless trainer of your thoughts and emotions. No external force is responsible for your inner state. You alone bear this responsibility. This awareness is liberating. It places the power squarely in your hands. Finally, embrace emotional detachment not as isolation, but as empowerment. When you detach emotionally from the outcomes, from the opinions of others, and from the fears that bind, you free your mind to act with clarity and strength. This detachment creates peace, a peace that nourishes courage, persistence, and the audacity to pursue greatness. Remember, the man who is emotionally detached is not indifferent. He is serene, purposeful, and unstoppable. The journey to mental mastery is neither quick nor easy. It demands sacrifice, relentless practice, and unwavering commitment. But those who undertake it claim the greatest prized control of their destiny, the power to achieve their grandest ambitions, and the peace that comes from mastery over self. Rise now to this challenge. Command your thoughts, discipline your emotions, define your purpose, speak to your subconscious, think accurately, choose response over reaction. Cultivate calmness and neutrality. Take personal initiative. Detach emotionally to act freely. The mind is your kingdom. Rule it with wisdom and strength. The wealth, the success, and the life you desire are within your grasp if you seize control of your inner world. Now consider the role of faith in your mental dominion. Faith is the invisible force that transforms possibility into reality. It is the bedrock of belief, the fuel that ignites the engine of autosuggestion. Without faith, your definite purpose remains a wish. With faith, it becomes a decree. Faith is not mere hope or optimism. It is a deep conviction born of repeated affirmation and disciplined thought. When you declare with unwavering certainty, "I will succeed," your mind bends reality toward that truth. But beware of doubt. Doubt is the assassin of faith, the silent thief of progress. It sneaks into the mind disguised as caution or reason, but it corrodes your purpose from within. Each moment you allow doubt to fester, you weaken your mental fortress. To build unshakable faith, surround yourself with truth. Study successes and failures with equal rigor. Accept that obstacles are but lessons, not verdicts. Replace every "I cannot" with "I will find a way." This mental alchemy transforms your emotions from fear into confidence. Next, let us address the formidable adversary of fear. Fear is a cunning tyrant that paralyzes the mind and weakens the spirit. It masquerades in many forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, each designed to chain you to mediocrity. But here lies the great paradox. Fear only holds power if you surrender it. The moment you face fear squarely and refuse to obey its commands, it loses its grip. Emotional detachment is your shield against fear's assault. When fear arises, do not flee. Observe it, name it. Then, affirm your dominance with the words of command to your mind. I am greater than this fear. I act with courage. This act of refusal is a declaration of mental sovereignty. It strengthens your discipline and builds resilience. Further, recognize the principle of persistence, the steadfast companion of success. Persistence is the refusal to abandon your purpose despite obstacles, setbacks, or naysayers. It is the manifestation of mental discipline applied over time. Every great achievement in history is the product of persistence born of mental mastery. The man who persists, mastering his emotions and thoughts through every trial, becomes unstoppable. Persistence requires that you maintain emotional detachment from temporary failures. View each setback as data, not defeat. Learn, adapt, and advance. Moreover, embrace the power of controlled attention. The ability to focus your mind on your purpose without distraction is a rare and invaluable skill. Like a magnifying glass concentrating sunlight, controlled attention can burn through the barriers of difficulty. To develop this focus, guard your mind vigilantly against the pollution of negative influences, idle chatter, worry, fear, and needless distractions. Create a mental sanctuary where your purpose can flourish unimpeded. Another critical discipline is decision, the art of timely and resolute choice. Indecision is the enemy of progress. It feeds doubt and empowers fear. Successful men understand that to delay is to weaken the mind's authority. The practice of mental discipline sharpens decision-making. When you detach emotionally, you free yourself from hesitation born of turmoil. You make decisions swiftly, firmly, and without regret. Know this: a decision made and acted upon is a declaration of power. Hesitation is a surrender of power. Let us now consider imagination, the workshop of the mind. While emotional detachment demands control, imagination requires freedom. The mind must be both a fortress and a creative engine. Use your imagination to visualize success with vivid detail. Envision the attainment of your definite purpose. Feel the emotions of triumph detached from doubt or distraction. This practice programs your subconscious to work toward your goals with zeal. However, discipline your imagination to serve your purpose, not to wander into fears or fantasies of failure. Finally, remember that your environment influences your mind. Choose your companions, your reading, and your surroundings wisely. Surround yourself with influences that reinforce your mental mastery, books that inspire, people who uplift, and spaces that encourage calm and focus. In conclusion, your journey to mastery over your mind, emotions, and destiny is the most noble and vital quest you will undertake. It requires a steadfast will, relentless practice, and profound faith in your own power. Rise now to claim the throne of your mind. Let no emotional storm overthrow you. Let no doubt or fear diminish your light. Walk with calmness, clarity, and purpose. The riches of the world, the fulfillment of your dreams, and the peace of inner sovereignty await the man who masters himself. Begin today. Command your mind. Master your emotions. Own your future. The path to unstoppable success lies within. To wield true power over your destiny, you must internalize the truth that thoughts become things. Every great invention, every monumental achievement began as a single thought, forged with clarity, nurtured with faith, and sharpened with discipline. Yet not all thoughts bear fruit. The difference lies in the quality of your thoughts. Chaotic, fearful thoughts sow ruin. Disciplined, purposeful thoughts build empires. This law demands vigilance. Guard the gates of your mind as a fortress. Reject the invading thoughts of despair, distraction, and negativity. Invite only those aligned with your highest purpose. Next, consider the profound value of inner dialogue. The conversations you have with yourself shape your mental landscape. When you speak to yourself with kindness, conviction, and clarity, you build resilience. When you indulge in self-criticism, doubt, and complaint, you erode your foundation. Make your inner dialogue a sacred ritual of empowerment. Speak to your subconscious as a trusted ally, repeating the affirmations of strength, calm, and success. As Napoleon Hill would remind you, your subconscious mind works night and day, and without ceasing, to carry out the demands you make upon it. Therefore, make your demands wise and resolute. Moreover, recognize the power of mental visualization as a tool for emotional detachment and success. See yourself succeeding in every challenge, moving past obstacles with grace and strength. In your mind's eye, rehearse the calm response to every provocation, the deliberate action in every crisis. This practice trains your emotions to align with your will rather than dominate it. Remember also the sacred practice of mental inventory. At regular intervals, take stock of your thoughts and emotions. Identify which serve your progress and which hinder it. Root out the poisonous weeds of resentment, envy, and fear. Cultivate the fertile soil of gratitude, courage, and hope. This habit is a cornerstone of self-discipline, for the unexamined mind is a slave to circumstance. As your mental mastery grows, you will find that success is a state of mind. The conditions you face are often less important than your internal response. Your mental attitude acts as a lens, focusing either the light of opportunity or the shadows of defeat. Choose now to see the world through the lens of possibility and power. Lastly, embrace the profound truth of service to others as an extension of mental mastery. The man who masters himself is not isolated or self-centered. He is a pillar for others, a force of positive influence. By contributing your talents, your resources, and your wisdom to the betterment of others, you create a cycle of abundance. This outward flow returns to you multiplied, enriching your life beyond measure. Therefore, let your mental discipline not only build your success, but also strengthen your capacity to uplift those around you. Awaken now to the limitless power within you. Your mind, disciplined and detached, is a sovereign realm where your future is forged. Rule this realm with authority. The riches, the peace, and the greatness you seek lie in your command. The moment to seize your destiny is now. Rise, master your mind, and claim your triumph. Let us now confront the silent killer of ambition, procrastination. This insidious thief steals time, erodes discipline, and weakens resolve. It is the enemy of definite purpose and the refuge of fear. Procrastination thrives on emotional chaos. When your mind is unsettled, torn between doubt, anxiety, and distraction, you delay action, rationalizing your inaction as prudence. But make no mistake, every moment of delay is a moment lost to your dreams. The antidote to procrastination is immediate, deliberate action. When doubt or hesitation arise, command your mind with this simple principle: do the thing now. Acting promptly fuels momentum. Each small victory over delay strengthens your self-discipline and deepens emotional detachment from fear. Remember, a man who acts decisively possesses a momentum that carries him beyond obstacles and opposition. The world rewards action, not intention. Next, consider the power of habit in shaping your inner world. Your daily habits, your patterns of thought, speech, and behavior are the architecture of your destiny. Discipline yourself to cultivate habits of clarity, calm, and purposeful action. Let every habit be a stepping stone toward your definite purpose. Napoleon Hill warned, "Your only limitation is the one you set up in your own mind." Habits either enforce these limitations or dismantle them. Therefore, build habits that reinforce your mastery. Rise early to claim the morning calm. Practice mental stillness to sharpen focus. Repeat your auto-suggestions to impress your subconscious. With relentless habit, the mind becomes a well-oiled machine, unstoppable in its pursuit. Now, examine the necessity of continuous learning. The disciplined mind never ceases to grow. It recognizes that mastery is a journey, not a destination. Seek wisdom daily in books, in mentors, in reflection. Challenge your assumptions. Embrace the discomfort of new knowledge, for it is the catalyst of transformation. Emotional detachment helps here too. Detach from ego's resistance to learning, from the fear of inadequacy, from complacency. Adopt the humility of the true learner, and you will continually sharpen your mental edge. Furthermore, embrace the art of strategic patience. Mental mastery is not about rushing headlong into every opportunity, but about discerning the right moment to act. Detach from impulsiveness. Cultivate the wisdom to wait, to prepare, and to strike when conditions align. This balance of patience and decisiveness marks the difference between rash action and calculated success. Let us now discuss the circle of influence. Your energy is precious and finite. Focus it on what you can control: your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Detach emotionally from what lies beyond your influence: others' opinions, market fluctuations, random events. By concentrating your mental power where it counts, you amplify your effectiveness and peace. The man who practices this principle moves through life with clarity and strength, unshaken by turmoil beyond his control. Finally, reflect upon the ultimate prize of this mental conquest: inner peace. This peace is not mere absence of conflict, but the presence of unwavering control over your inner world. It is the calm at the center of life's storm, the source of clarity, courage, and confidence. When you achieve this peace through emotional detachment and mental discipline, you become invincible. No setback can shake you. No criticism can wound you. No fear can bind you. You move forward, unstoppable, radiant with the power of a mind fully mastered. This is the summit of your journey, a mind disciplined, detached, and sovereign. Here, the riches you seek, wealth, success, fulfillment, are natural byproducts of your inner mastery. Seize this power now. Train your mind relentlessly. Rule your emotions with iron will. Define your purpose with crystal clarity. Your destiny awaits. Claim it with every thought, every choice, every breath. Rise, master, and conquer. Let us now explore the profound impact of the subconscious mind, that silent partner in your mental kingdom. Though unseen, it is the powerhouse that executes your deepest commands, the engine that propels your conscious desires into reality. The subconscious mind accepts, without question, the impressions you make upon it. It neither questions nor judges. It simply acts. Therefore, your responsibility is to flood it with the highest truths, the strongest beliefs, and the clearest vision of your definite purpose. Herein lies the sacred practice of autosuggestion once more, not as idle repetition, but as a deliberate, purposeful conversation with the architect of your destiny. Speak to your subconscious with unwavering faith. Tell it daily: I am calm, I am focused, I am wealthy, I am successful. Insist that these are your unshakable realities. Over time, your subconscious mind rewires your habits, emotions, and perceptions to align with these truths. Yet, beware of conflicting messages. Negative thoughts, self-doubt, and fear pollute this sacred dialogue. They must be rooted out like weeds in a garden, lest they choke your growth. The man who masters autosuggestion commands his subconscious as a general commands his army. Next, reflect on the power of definiteness of decision. Indecision breeds confusion, hesitation, and regret. The disciplined mind resolves swiftly, acts boldly, and owns the consequences. To cultivate this decisiveness, practice emotional detachment from the outcome of your choices. Focus instead on the quality of your decision process, grounded in accurate thinking, calm reflection, and alignment with your purpose. When you detach emotionally from fear of failure or loss, decisions become clearer and more courageous. Each decision you make is a declaration of your mental sovereignty. Now, contemplate the principle of mastery over desire. Desire is the spark that ignites the fire of ambition, but unchecked desire can consume and destroy. Emotional detachment tempers desire, turning it from blind craving into focused aspiration. When you desire without attachment, you act freely, without desperation or distraction. You become a river flowing steadily toward the ocean of your goals, not a tempest raging wildly and exhausting itself. Further, embrace the habit of accurate thought as your daily discipline. Do not allow assumptions, rumors, or emotional biases to cloud your judgment. Seek facts. Question your beliefs. Distinguish between what you know and what you merely think. This habit protects your mind from deception, error, and self-sabotage. As Napoleon Hill proclaimed, accurate thinking is the first essential to riches. Moreover, practice the art of concentration. The ability to direct your mental faculties fully upon one task or purpose without distraction is the hallmark of all great achievers. Concentration requires emotional detachment from competing desires, from fleeting temptations, and from the noise of modern life. When you master concentration, your productivity multiplies exponentially. Finally, remember the timeless truth that the power of persistence is the iron will driving all success. Mental mastery ensures that persistence is steady, unemotional, and unyielding. It is the quiet voice within that says, I will try again, not because of hope alone, but because of disciplined commitment and clear purpose. When your mind is detached from discouragement and fueled by definite purpose, persistence becomes inevitable. Master these principles. Embed them deeply. Let them shape every fiber of your being. Emotional detachment is not denial, it is power. Mental discipline is not hardship, it is freedom. Take the helm of your mind. Navigate toward your definite purpose with unwavering faith and relentless persistence. The riches you seek are already yours, waiting only for your command. Rise now. Master your mind. Master your destiny. Now, turn your attention to the indispensable principle of self-control over speech. Your words are the audible expression of your inner world. They reveal your thoughts, your emotions, and your level of mastery. Emotional detachment demands that you govern your speech as strictly as your thoughts. Rash words spoken in anger, fear, or impatience ignite fires you will later regret. Controlled speech reflects a controlled mind. Before you speak, pause. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? Does it serve my purpose? Speak only what elevates your character, your goals, and your relationships. This discipline not only preserves peace, but fortifies your reputation, the currency of influence. Next, embrace the power of forgiveness, both toward others and yourself. Emotional detachment frees you from the bondage of resentment and bitterness that poison your mind and drain your energy. To forgive is not to forget or condone wrongdoing, but to release yourself from emotional captivity. It clears space for calm, clarity, and forward motion. Remember, the mind that harbors grudges is a fortress under siege. Choose peace instead. Choose freedom. Consider also the principle of creative visioning. Mental mastery is not mere reaction, it is creation. Use your imagination not only to visualize success, but to invent solutions, to see possibilities where others see obstacles. Detach emotionally from fear of failure in your creative endeavors. Allow your mind to wander boldly, then rein it in with discipline to execute your vision. The balance of imaginative freedom and disciplined action is the hallmark of innovation and achievement. Furthermore, cultivate gratitude as a mental discipline. Detachment does not mean detachment from appreciation. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from complaint to celebration. When you consistently acknowledge what you have, your mind opens to receive more. Gratitude quiets negative emotions and anchors you in peace. Make gratitude a daily habit, an emotional tonic that supports your mental sovereignty. Finally, recognize the sacred duty of stewardship of your energy. Your mental and emotional energies are finite and precious. Guard them vigilantly. Detach from toxic environments, draining relationships, and futile conflicts. Invest your energy where it yields growth, success, and joy. The disciplined mind is an economy of power, spending wisely to build a prosperous inner empire. Thus, you see the full tapestry of mental mastery woven from threads of discipline, detachment, purpose, faith, and action. You stand now at the threshold of greatness, armed with timeless principles that command success. The choice is yours, to remain a prisoner of your emotions or to become the sovereign of your mind. Rise, claim your throne, and walk boldly into the life you are destined to live. Now, let us confront the critical truth about environment, that the people you surround yourself with, the influences you allow near your mind, and the conditions in which you dwell shape your emotional and mental state profoundly. The undisciplined mind easily surrenders to the habits, fears, and emotional chaos of its surroundings. But the mastermind is selective, deliberate, and uncompromising. Surround yourself with those who embody discipline, success, and calm resolve. Distance yourself from the voices of negativity, doubt, and drama. The company you keep is a mirror, reflecting the quality of your mental mastery. Remember, emotional detachment does not mean isolation, it means discernment. Choose your alliances with the same care you choose your thoughts. Alongside environment, consider the power of physical health as the foundation for mental discipline. The mind and body are inextricably linked. Emotional turbulence often finds fertile ground in fatigue, poor nutrition, and neglect. Discipline your body as you discipline your mind. Maintain regular exercise, sufficient rest, and proper nourishment. These acts strengthen your willpower and heighten your mental clarity. A weak body breeds a weak mind. A disciplined body empowers a disciplined mind. Moving onward, embrace the principle of service and contribution as the highest expression of inner mastery. The man who controls himself not only builds wealth for himself, but becomes a source of wealth for others. He understands that true success multiplies when shared. Detach from selfish desires and petty rivalries. Focus instead on how your gifts, time, and knowledge can elevate those around you. This outward focus fuels inner peace and attracts abundance. In this, the law of reciprocity reveals itself. What you give returns manifold. Now turn your attention to the profound art of time mastery. Time is the most precious resource, relentlessly moving forward and never returning. Emotional reactivity and mental chaos squander this gift. A disciplined mind schedules purposefully, guards against distraction, and dedicates blocks of undisturbed focus to the pursuit of definite purpose. Detach emotionally from the urgency of trivial matters and the anxiety of the uncontrollable future. Anchor your actions in the present moment, governed by clarity and will. The man who masters time commands his destiny. Finally, confront the ultimate test of your mental mastery, adversity. The storms of life will come. Challenges, failures, and losses are inevitable. Emotional detachment does not spare you these trials, but equips you to endure and prevail. When faced with adversity, detach from despair. View the challenge with calm neutrality. Analyze it with accurate thought. Respond with purposeful action. Each trial is a forge where your discipline is tested and strengthened. The mastermind is not crushed but refined. Know this, friend. Mastery over your mind, emotions, and circumstances is the secret weapon of all great men and women who have walked the earth. It is not a gift bestowed, but a skill earned. Rise to this call with unwavering resolve. Command your thoughts. Govern your emotions. Define your purpose. Take action. The life of unstoppable success awaits you. The final truths now beckon you, for you stand at the summit of understanding. The journey inward is the greatest quest you will ever undertake, and its rewards surpass gold and silver. Mastery of the mind is mastery of destiny. Every thought you harbor shapes the world you inhabit. Every emotion you release builds or destroys your inner fortress. Every choice you make is a stroke of the chisel sculpting your legacy. But mastery does not come from mere wishing or fleeting enthusiasm. It is born of relentless discipline, of daily battle, and of unwavering faith in your own power. To master your emotions, you must first become their observer. Watch them rise and fall like clouds across the sky of your consciousness. Let them pass without clutching or fleeing. In this space of detachment, your true power grows. To build mental discipline, practice the sacred rituals of clarity. Define your purpose with exactitude. Silence your mind in stillness. Feed your subconscious with autosuggestion. And act decisively without delay. To take control of your inner world, choose your thoughts like a gardener chooses seeds. Weed out negativity. Cultivate faith. Nourish patience. Harvest persistence. The man who commands his mind is a king. His kingdom is peaceful yet powerful. He moves with calm confidence, immune to the chaos that breaks lesser men. Remember this cause and effect. If you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. If you command your thoughts, you command your future. Let this truth burn within you like a flame. Your mind is the only thing you truly own. Its mastery is your path to unstoppable success. The wealth you seek is not only the wealth of currency, but the wealth of peace, purpose, and power. This wealth begins in the mastery of self. Now, rise with determination. Seize your mind, rule it, transform it, use it as the instrument of your grandest ambitions. No more will you be a prisoner of emotional chaos or mental confusion. You are the architect of your destiny. The time to act is now. Command your mind. Master your emotions. Own your future. You are unstoppable.